Okay, cool. Because sometimes I hit the record button and it doesn't like that. It doesn't do extra shit. But welcome to Country Tree Construction, guys. We've been here strategizing and planning and having some pizza and libations in celebration of my freedom from purgatory and just being locked up. Free earlier than I expected.
All these bitches need pop filters because that pop almost broke my ears.
Oh, which one?
Oh, no, I'm not telling you, you fool.
It's probably yours.
Why you say that? I'm not telling you, you fool.
Oh, you just said it. I mean, there's only so many words. I think you said purgatory.
Oh yeah, probably purgatory. That's a hard thing. That's not a soft. I can't even make it a
Telling
soft.
you, you fool.
All right,
Like
I'm
phone or passive. Like there's some like hard.
But it's
Yeah.
purgatory.
Yeah, I would.
And you were close to the mics. I mean, it was just like
I don't really need to be like all up on it. What's my sound like? Good, sir. We sounding good?
we're sounding great. Don't we
You
sound
sure?
good, Ash?
Yes?
Tell me the truth. How do you feel like we sound?
I'm so used to like on the mic, so I'm like, can you hear me? But no, I can hear myself pretty good.
Yeah. All right.
close.
Also, that fan
so
has
scared.
to go off.
Is it the bottom?
That's fine.
Yeah, because you can hear. Yeah. No, there's God. We can hear so much crap. It's just like I'm hearing everything.
Oh, the curtains work.
The curtains will probably be a bit better, but yeah, we
Alright,
gonna
shut
get
his
that
mouth,
door.
sorry. But yeah, look at me. I'm so scared that y'all won't hear anything I'm saying.
No, I understand because you're used to being like all the way up here.
Ooh,
but
that sounded good. Way to hold up.
yeah,
I like that.
But
Josh always has a nice voice.
huh?
You always have a nice voice.
Do I? I think my voice sounds nasally.
Yeah. No, I like how deep it is. I don't mind the nasally part. I like how deep it is. You can read audiobooks.
Oh yeah. There's me and Tony. I randomly stumbled upon something that Tony might want to have us do for audiobooks at some point,
All right.
but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, let's not. Because this nigga get a whole bag.
We about to
No.
get superpowers
Yay.
I'm a hero.
during the winter solstice of December.
Let's go. Know how long I've been waiting for superpowers?
I
Getting
mean,
superpowers, y'all.
I'm so ready.
we're headed into the
Jupiter and
longest night.
Saturn are gonna converge, so they gonna hella bright. There's an asteroid shower going on, and there's gonna be so much energy just released in the universe headed our direction towards Earth that we're about to get these superpowers popping.
Let's go.
So in suspended reality, and let's take this to the limits. What superpowers do y'all want?
All of them. I want to wake up with telekinesis. I've been wanting to fucking turn on the shower head since I was a kid. Like, I was super convinced, like, I know I can do this. Why is it not happening? I want that. I don't want the power to read people's minds. That's retarded. I don't want to see the future because seeing things before they happen is not as hunky-dory as everybody think that is. What else? I think I want to control the elements. That'd be nice. But definitely controlling things with my mind. I'm so ready for that. But if I wake up with a random power, I'm making it work. I got 3 hours to master it. I mean, I got another 21 to figure out how I'm about to come up off of this big time.
There's gonna be a lot.
We ain't never going to sleep. This is a master right here of not going to sleep. So I'm chilling with this nigga for 24
That
hours.
day is the day that we don't go to sleep
Ain't no
because
sleep.
I better get the text message first thing in the morning. Damn, look what I can do. I can unbend paper clips in a matter of moments. I don't know. It better be something because then we unbending them paper clips and we taking shots at people. Random motherfucking power. I don't know. We got 24 hours to do this and I'm so ready.
if I woke up with like Firestorm's powers, and by the way, Firestorm is a DC hero that can control the molecular setup of any given thing, so we can add and subtract atoms and set it up. So I mean,
Let's go, Charles.
It
You're not
can-
gonna
you
be
can turn
altruistic
something-
for these 24 hours, boo. I promise you that.
I don't think making enough lithium, which I think is the rarest element inside the entire ever.
I'm gonna need
To
you
the
to.
point.
You ain't gotta be evil, but you gotta be like the middle path. You ain't gotta be good. You ain't gotta be evil, but be in the middle.
I'm just gonna have people just bring shit in front of me, and I'm gonna turn it into something that's worth a lot. But we have to trickle everything out.
I'm not trickling
We
shit.
gotta get rid of all crude oil. That's what I need you on. I need you to get rid of all crude oil completely.
I can do that.
Yes, I know.
I'm gonna turn.
Oh, look at that. Look at this shit right here.
I'll turn all the pollution in the water into actual water.
Yes, we're gonna.
I'll
that.
do certain altruistic
Yeah,
things.
so we need to get that, and then
I'll turn all the shitty people in the grass.
Dude, how many things you could do if you just got rid of the word evil? If you just stop seeing things as evil, you could go so much further.
I think
I turned all the assholes in the
have-
grass.
I could just have magnetism. I'd turn this country upside down.
You just empty people out.
I would be running this country by noon.
It's just like
We don't have any plastic weapons. You niggas would not be ready. Everything I make is made out of metal. I would have all this shit on lock.
I thought there was like a 9mm that was made out of
It doesn't
fiberglass.
shoot fucking plastic bullets.
Rubber bullets. That's gonna be like torture.
Nah, if I can but if I can control shit with my mind, if you give me a task that's worthwhile, like I'm not putting shit white people in slavery. Like, I'm gonna be
Take over the whole globe.
okay. I'm not doing that. That's such a waste of time. We can figure out telekinesis on a whole different level other than that small shit.
So we take it over the whole globe.
That's fine. But we're not focusing on one small people. That's weird.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of things I can do. I
Okay.
can purchase
Not just
a.
one small.
I can purchase.
I'm with the whole globe thing, but not just one
I can
section.
purchase land and like
And I'm gonna go conquer Greenland.
I can get a land and instill it with all like the raw materials that I could possibly ever want and to sell. It's like my ultimate thing is I'm gonna come out of this and be completely and totally financially stable and do whatever I'll be able to do whatever I want for the rest of my
We're
life.
just gonna strip all countries of
Of
all
their
natural
autonomy?
resources.
And that's fine. I can help y'all, but my thing ain't with helping the world or saving it or not saving it. I'm not worried about the world. Fuck them.
There's gonna be certain European countries that are gonna be super salty. It's just
if I
Russia
didn't
gonna be up
have-
there like, what's going on? Why do they all of a sudden have all these superpowers everywhere else? Damn.
No,
Our
I'll
lack
help-
of diversity has damned us.
I will help y'all on y'all endeavor to take over the world. But as far as my personal thing, I'm not doing shit with the world. The world can kiss my ass. I just want to make sure that my daughter's okay. And generally my immediate family is alright.
Oh,
That's
man.
my biggest thing. I'm gonna help y'all, but I'm not like, my thing is I'm like, yes, fucking Ecuador is ours, and within 15 minutes I
we go
won't
after
get joy out of that.
Ecuador?
I don't randomly he might be Southern America is mine. I don't know. But that's not my goal.
No, I need the whole planet.
If I'm gonna take something,
I'm saying,
I'm
like,
gonna
you
take
would
something
break it
that's actually
down.
worth it.
South America in 3 hours or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah, why don't y'all want it? So my thing is
I don't want the
I'm not
responsibility.
responsibility?
Yeah. Running the world, you're gonna be responsible for basically everyone.
No. You're talking about a very responsible leader. I'm going to be the motherfucker. I said it, and it better get done. I'll be out like
Responsible
Trump was
leader.
playing golf all the time. I'm never gonna be there. You niggas better. But the difference is, if you don't listen, I'm gonna send this pin flying through your fucking forehead.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
And I will help him achieve that. I give no fucks about nobody that's not close to me.
Yeah, so like, I'm not about to be doing all that. That's not Tony's not about to spend his time running the dictatorship. No.
But
Tony
that means
said-
at that point you're not really dictating.
I am.
You're
So what Tony wants to be able to do is walk through everywhere and just
Know what's
all
his.
know what's up. And when Tony says it happens. I don't realistically need to be the one that's sitting at the top of the organization that's running the missions and everything like that. I just need to walk through and you motherfuckers bow down, know that I'm that nigga, leave me the fuck alone, or you go and die.
It's either this or die.
And this globe is mine now.
I'm okay with that.
And we
'Cause I
operate
don't-
like this. I'm gonna give y'all certain guidelines on how we gonna operate, and then whoever's not doing that, there's gonna be a strict punishment for them. They're gonna have to go handle y'all. And now if they don't dole out those punishments, and if it gets up to me, now everybody fucked up.
As long as you don't think you can talk to me like that, you better give me a sovereign ass island.
I'm I'm not even gonna be on the planet most of the time. You niggas will be
He's
so
literally just wants everything to be set it and forget it.
It's like my room.
Quintessentially.
I don't spend all my time in my room, but that bitch is mine, and you bitches better not.
But I better know where everything is when I go up there.
Yeah, when I get back to my room,
We not watching no
my
Barney
room.
up here.
Nah, or you followed up the window. Like, shit, I can spend time. Realistically, I'm gonna spend time at the event horizon, meditating, and seeing how far I can skip into the future doing this.
How are you gonna keep your body together based on like? Oh my goodness.
Magnetic force field.
Oh my goodness. This is gonna be terribly problematic.
As long as I can create a magnetic field around me, then I can be fine.
This is gonna be.
Magneto does it.
There's. All right. So everyone has chosen their powers. You don't. You want telekinesis. He
Yeah.
wants magnetism. I want the ability to reshape and change things at the atomic level.
That's so fucking cool. You can just pick shit up by pointing at it. Come on now. Come on. Come on, man.
I don't know.
Awesome.
No, it's really cool.
I'm tricking all the people that I want to go to Florida, and I'm gonna levitate that bitch off the face of the earth. Nothing good has ever come from
If you
Florida.
get the vaccine, you lose your powers probably.
Probably. Oh my god, you think that's what
That's how they pushed it out so quickly.
Yo, that was the first one. I seen a nigga in the chair. I'm like, ain't this about it, bitch? Ain't this some bullshit? How we get the first fucking little trials? I'm like, that's not even cool. Little Susie from fucking Wisconsin can't get this
Black
shit.
People shouldn't try any vaccines first from the government.
Oh my god, and we be such sacrificial lambs for white people. I'm so fucking
That
tired.
the government wasn't making these vaccines.
Huh? Who?
I don't know.
I mean, technically, they didn't make either of these vaccines. One's from Germany, and one's from. They're both technically from.
They're like from
another
private
country.
companies, ain't they?
That means something different inside of other countries, like
Not private countries. I'm sorry, private companies.
private companies. Yeah, I'm saying that kind of means something different,
mean-
different inside of other countries.
Yeah.
Private here means a lot of
okay.
times you're a giant hydra that's trying to devour everything that's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Private elsewhere, probably still a hydra, but only got 3 heads instead of 25.
and owned by the government.
Not our government.
No, their government.
I think they were. But like Spitzer is like German.
All I know is I was somewhere arguing. It may not have been me that was arguing. I was privy to an argument about whether the vaccine was from the government or not from the government.
It is
And
and it isn't.
And my stance is it is.
Because technically the government is receiving and determining the distribution of the vaccine.
Shit, the government's probably funding this shit to happen.
For the most part, because they want people to take it.
Yeah, so if they're funding it go, that
I mean, regardless, I'm not going to be the first person to take the shit because they're not going to give it to me. Nor you, nor Ash.
My thing is just, I'm just confused. So if you tell me that a vaccine takes a year and a half, right?
Under normal circumstances.
That's usually the good side, right?
That's with very, very... The problem is we have not seen the long-term ramifications of taking said vaccine yet. Most vaccines we've been taking have pretty much been the same vaccine since God knows how long. Like measles. We've been taking this shit for 30 some odd years. We know what's going to happen if you take the measles vaccine as of this point.
Yeah, but that's my thing. They said this was supposed to take a year and a half to come out. Let's say COVID really got poppin' March. We really got
We've been
on,
working on the vaccines probably since like February because that was a thing for other countries. It just wasn't really a thing for us. So we've been working on it for a solid 10 months. 9 if you're not as generous.
Yeah, I'm not generous. And I'm also pushing it back a little more because I feel like no one was really taking it seriously until like April, May.
Everybody
They started shutting shit down.
There was no European country, and I include us as a European country because all intents and purposes weren't taking it
Shit,
seriously.
neither was China.
China had locked down twice by then, and no one was allowed to leave. Like, China's that good old communist
By April, they
lockdown.
twice?
Yeah. Them niggas, they weren't playing no games. Korea just gave everybody money and said, stay the fuck in the house.
No, they did. They were like, nah.
Japan, stay the fuck in the house.
Yeah, all the Asian
Singapore,
countries.
all these places told you to stay in the house, and for the most part, hell, North Korea locked down again because they had 78. They ain't playing any games with this, but like we are all kind of very thirsty for our independence out here, so everyone wants to be an individual out here.
Well, yeah, because America is kind of like based on disrespect culture anyway, so they just teach you to be naturally rebellious. All of our media, all of our music that we consume is always about rebel to get to a higher space. You can't tell me what to do. So then that's like trying to teach these niggas that's been taught since they was a baby that you should listen to us now. Wouldn't have gone this effect ever. But Korean, like I said, Chinese niggas are usually like bound by duty. Listen to your elders. So I can see why their situation would appear better than ours. It's that they train that way. They train to listen to the authority figures over you. We are not. We're not trained to do that. So that's why I think in those cases, though, like I said, those Asian countries are a little bit better off. Their culture is not based around what our culture is based around.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when they had that nuclear fallout inside of, I think it was Nagasaki, and they had that nuclear plant that leaked. And what it basically came down to is the old people went to go clean it up because they said they had less life to live than the young people did.
Yeah,
that's the kind of world that they're from.
Yeah, that's distilled in them.
No.
It's to...
It's just like after a
I'll be 80. Sitting in my house like, y'all shouldn't do that.
That's wild.
It's just like
that's
Shit
wild.
is crazy.
these are types of people. The type of people that live in Japan is they were returning safes to the police after a tsunami.
Yeah, see, like,
It's
they
just
just
like,
have...
here, we found this safe. It was full of money.
Yeah,
Why?
they
'Cause
have
this-
a sense of duty towards each other that we just don't have. Not even if it's like a racial thing between black or white, whatever.
Nah,
American
it's a culture.
culture, yeah, American culture do not have any of that. You better be worried about yourself or else. Like,
Yeah,
there
it's
is
a very
no
cannibalistic type of society.
kind of coming together on a common cause. Like you said, like they all banded together and was like, all right, we'll do it. Because they just generally, that's what they taught, which is very noble. But we are not taught that. Like I said, I think Italy had to shut down twice, didn't they? Or did they shut
Yeah,
down for a very...
Italy was more fucked than we were
Okay.
for a long period of time.
All
They
those people.
is like, but yeah, I mean, should you necessarily be running out to go get this? Depending upon who you are, it
No.
varies.
If you have melanin in your skin, you shouldn't run out to go get it.
It's like if you are a person who is at high risk of dying from COVID, and this is pretty much like, if I don't get this, more than likely I'm gonna get it and possibly die. Then,
Why would you get it? Stay your ass in the house.
well, like I don't know, if you're a nurse, you have a high possibility of getting it.
Oh.
That's kind of the reason why they're all getting it first.
Yeah, they probably gonna make them get it. Like if you work in the healthcare, they gonna make you get that. I don't know if that's even a... I think they're gonna make people...
Well, technically,
have to-
as of this point, courts have ruled that someone can't, your job can't say it's either you no longer work for us or you get this vaccine. That
I
is,
know. Well, yeah, when my mother worked for Cleveland Clinic, you had a choice. Either you got the flu shot or you had to wear a mask during flu season. So they gave you a choice.
I'd wear the mask.
Yeah.
I don't like getting shots personally. I'm just not a fan.
And they always using it as like, you ain't trust the government.
Don't take the flu shot ever.
I feel like as a nigga, if you trust in the government to save you,
No, I was just saying flu shots are terrible.
yeah, if you just
I
trust
mean,
in
they
the
just kind
government
of
to
give
save
you a more minor version of the flu instead of like super flu, which still sucks no matter which way you cut it.
that shit just don't sit right with me. I don't even know the mechanics of that, but for you to give me a sickness to prevent another sickness is just a little strange. And I don't think the history of the government looking out for
Black people in
in general. Just people. It ain't even gotta be niggas. If we had to just keep this as a generalized thing, it ain't even gotta be on the just black, white, Mexican or not. They just really don't have your best. No one really has your best interest at heart when it comes to gov. Like, I'm sorry, they just don't. So today was the day I was supposed to believe that they were just gonna help save my body from the COVIDs.
I mean, I don't necessarily. Well, see, the thing is, everyone's looking at them trying to get this vaccine distributed as they're trying to spend it like the government isn't altruistic. You're right, they're not. They're doing this for themselves because they want the economy to get back to the point that it was at, so it means they can start making all this money.
Yeah, that could be a possibility, but they just can't keep trying to tell me that they have my best interests at heart all the time.
Nah,
like,
bro, they want you back on that.
to?
They want you back on that minimum wage treadmill, baby.
Or even the worst case is like you can kind of see like definitely undertones of like I'm not. This is not to knock like universal healthcare is a social like this is not saying any of that, but you damn sure see some like socialist undertones sometimes with what's going on.
I mean, see, that's the thing. When socialism isn't really a bad word, and I don't understand why people treat it like that. Oh, you're trying to find your... Oh, there we go. But socialism first, that would require me to think socialism is a bad word, because it's really not. It is a form of government. Mm-hmm. And thinking a form of government is a bad word is something that we are hardwired to do as Americans, because it's like when someone says communism, everyone automatically thinks it's bad because communism is bad, and it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I would like to think everyone pretty much being able to live no matter, like the lowliest janitor is paid as much as the highest paid doctor, because as of this point you're doing everything because you purely want to do it, not because you're getting paid more.
But that doesn't work.
Depending upon where you are, it does or it doesn't.
No, it doesn't work, period.
Why?
Because humans don't operate like that. If you can facilitate and meet all your needs at age 25 with this amount of work, or you're going to have to continue to work to meet all those needs at age 20 or 33, you're probably going to choose 25.
Oh.
If what you get at 33 is the exact
comparable.
thing you get at
See,
25,
what you're...
That's, people aren't going to...
go for the higher
It's
wrong
passively
thing.
resistant. That's how energy works. Energy's going to take the least...
Well, that is bad.
Yeah. That's how people are going to operate. So people aren't going to be doctors because being a doctor takes a long time. And I could be a janitor and make the same amount as a doctor.
I wouldn't be against being a doctor at that point for the pleasure of it. I mean,
that's
far
and few in between.
I mean, I would be a programmer. I would go into higher education. I would still do all these things because I want to do them. Now, I mean, I also say that there are probably a lot of people who lack that kind of drive to be like, you can do whatever the fuck you want. We just got to make sure, like, basic needs are met. It's just like, all right, fuck it. And then the funny thing about these types of situations are, like, the distribution of the money. There's nothing that says that you can't, like, have a side hustle, or, like, if you do something like podcasts, like, I am a communist podcaster, and they send me their money because this is what they choose to do with their government allotment of money, and they send it to me, and they increase the quality of my life because I produce a product that they want to help me.
Yeah, but only thing I have about that is somebody just giving you money just to have, like, I guess that's along the lines of universal income, right?
Quite essentially, yes. Like, communism at its purest is universal income.
Yeah, you eventually run out of somebody else's money. Like, somebody said for every dollar you pay, for every dollar you earn, somebody has to pay. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's all this money coming from? Is what I'm trying to understand. Like, I get these ideals where people just like, well, we should all just...
I guess I know where the money's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So the money comes from the same place it would come from in America, where everybody's working to produce those services.
Mm-hmm.
It's just before... So you sell online. So it'll probably be easier to explain it like this. You sell, and then you're your own country. You get that income, and then you redistribute it however you feel like, all right, my daughter's needs are this much, my bills are this much. So you are the communist for the rest of your household.
Mm-hmm.
that would be like the government getting all the money first, and then being like, all right, so everybody needs to make this month a month. Then we need to have hospitals get this month a month, and so the money's still there. It's just how it's distributed.
The channeling is very predetermined.
Yeah, it's very blocked off.
But
that doesn't work because why? Again, most people, and so we have to do things off of a most people spectrum. And inside of governments, most people aren't going to be like Charles and choose the harder, more strenuous, more technology or intensive career
because you can be a janitor.
Yes, and make the exact same amount, have the same quality of life. So that's why communism doesn't work in its purest sense. Now, communist aspects make sense, but I don't see pure communism working.
Yeah, I don't think any one pure version of a government really works because there is no true purely even Cuba isn't purely socialist despite what people like to tell you that it is.
I think that we need to stop thinking that one thing is going
be the solution.
To because everything you do has let's say every good deeds no good deed goes unpunished. So why do we keep thinking this ideal? I guess that's where you would get somebody is selling this ideal that this will solve all the problems.
It's probably some combination of everything.
Yeah, which I don't have a problem with. Like I said, universal health care, is that a bad idea? No, not really. But I think it'd be way better. I don't have a problem paying doctors and shit for their time. It's never been an exchange. You don't get something from nothing. So I don't mind paying them any amount of money for them to help me out. I don't mind that. But could there be regulations? Hell yeah. There's no regulations on those prices, and it's just running amok into where it's super expensive. So I can see both sides of that coin.
I mean, it like for universal health care is just basically where the money comes from. Now, there are pros and cons to everything, and just like for universal health care, everyone points out, well, that kind of flattens out the quality of service. That's a good thing in some places and bad things in others. Yeah. Because, you can't pay more to get better service, but there are people who couldn't afford to pay to get any service. Now they're getting service. But you also have to, like with Canada, you kind of have to be able to work with the system and be willing to kind of sit on the phone. It's just like, well, I need to be able to deal with this. And Americans like to say, I just want to be able to put the money on the table and go see whoever I want to see. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of the tendency of being quote unquote American. Like, you can pay more to get better thing.
Which I don't have a problem with. I don't see the badness in having more and being able. I don't want anybody to go without, but at the same time, what is I guess I have to bring it back. Like, what is poor here? Like, I know niggas that's I babysitted these two lovely children all weekend, and all of them had iPhones, and I know one of them is from the projects. Like, I have to go I drop my daughter off there to go spend time with her cousin, and they live in the projects. Like,
that's where they live.
Every single one of them niggas got iPhones.
Well,
all of us all fighting for cords and shit. I'm like, I just bought a bitch.
Like, I need the cord. Wait a second. These are all my cords. Give me my phone.
It's definitely not the same as some other countries' poor.
Yeah, so why are we so hell bent on? Like I said, what's being feed? That's why I let go of my idea of wealth. Because what the fuck does that even mean? This cartoony shit that I see. And then I look at this 6-year-old who has the iPhone. I don't even know if it's got it activated, but if I know her mom, she probably did activate that bitch.
I mean, you could argue about their... Sometimes... See, that's the entire conversation about lack of, money management skills and things of that nature. Because it's like, all right, your kid got an iPhone. So how much food you got in the refrigerator? I bought him an iPhone, but we about to be eating Top Ramen for the next week.
That's what I'm saying. We can't be.
Even that, you're still eating. There's. No
I understand you're eating, but you could have
trash for
a week. So that means my kid can have an iPhone.
Or just explain food stamps to some random Indian family that has to live with y'all seen those things where you have the the houses is shipping containers and shit, some real poor shit, and you had to be every month you just go down and you ask the government to give you food credits on a card, and then you go to this space where there is abundance of food and they reload that shit every month without fail. What?
unless the government shuts down. But that's a whole other thing.
Even then, like, those things ain't stopping for real. It might be slowed down.
Did they stop EBT when the government shuts down?
No, you can't just stop it. They doubled it or some shit. Like, they increased it. So you just don't stop services like those. That'd be proven to be catastrophic, I think. But, like, just explain, that's what I'm saying. What does that mean to have, just because you mad at somebody else because they got more than you? And especially, like, our culture is just built on,
I do
this
think
should
it can
have.
be both, though. Mm-hmm. I think that there can be a system where it's set up where
you can push the people on the bottom up, but not push the people on the top down.
But why would you want to, some people, like we was just talking about the iPhone situation, why would I want to push those people up? I'm not trying to, like, we was talking about.
So that's why you can't do it like that. You can't ever go into the minutia and the specifics. Mm-hmm. Because then you will find people that you're like,
you're going to find all those people who are just going to be stuck in the muck and the mire regardless of what you do because they make bad decisions.
Because they make bad decisions. But what you're doing it for is for the off, not even the off chance, the reality that there are a lot of people that are working to do the right thing, but financially just aren't in that space.
Back up. This is an inverse problem. You can be too close to these now to the point where we can pick up your breathing.
That's so nice.
It's just like, that's a word that someone has never said to me ever.
Yeah, like, no, every time Ash speak up, Ash be quiet, like, oh, okay.
That's true. I mean, it always has.
All right, Tony's talking inside the opposite direction of his microphone entirely.
I occasionally look over here and speak to it, but I've been speaking around it.
And I'm like, there's about, I'd say 2 feet between me.
You used to this. I'm not used to this. I'm just used to.
Yeah, because I hyper-trained myself on that one. Because for a while, I was up here, and it's like, why can't I hear me breathing? My breathing isn't that loud.
Yeah, I can get right here if y'all need me to.
Nah,
right here.
Bro.
This nigga over here trying to sell his cuddles.
Oh my goodness. Well,
but yeah, okay. I think that there can be a situation where there's universal health care, there's universal, like, minimum wage, and just a set standard that everybody
establish a baseline.
Establish a baseline that the government is going to supplement. But I think that you should also be able to opt out of those and be like, I will put my money on the table and just buy something better. And to force one system over the other doesn't make sense to me. Mm-hmm. Why can't we have both?
I mean, yeah, there's probably some in between it where you can be like, all right, well, we got this problem. It is just like, because the problem with large bureaucratic systems is they don't move quickly. And
realistically, you can cap healthcare professionals on how much they can charge and things like that.
Yeah.
So that way, there's no there's no real, like, incentive to go privatize versus being a universal healthcare provider, because you're going to make the same through the insurance companies and or private paying. Regardless, your check's going to look the same. It just depends on whether I, as a person, want to pay or if the government's paying you. But you're going to get the same.
But quintessentially, more than likely, the amount of money, because universal healthcare would, from what I understand, take probably about 7 to 8% of your given check. It's not even like necessarily a wild amount, depending upon who you are. But where that money would end up going, you probably end up spending about 8% of your overall money on healthcare anyway. Mm-hmm. So if you say, well, I don't want these services for this, and I want to be able to pay it, it's like there are certain problems with that, but if you set it up in a way to the point where you're literally just kind of being picky about things is the reason why you're opting out, people will probably be a lot less petty about opting out. Honestly. It's either that or they're going to be forced to take services that they can't always get, because there's going to be these situations where, like, I want to go to this doctor, so I'm going to take my 8% that would be coming from my check and I'm going to allocate it towards basically giving it to this doctor. But if everybody does that, you're never going to be able to go see that doctor because there's going to be too many people. It's like...
Yeah, but that's when you as an individual have to
look at the
all right, let me go see if there's another doctor I want to go see.
and then it ends up hashing out to be about the same anyway. So opting out of the system isn't necessarily this positive force for you.
But
It just you have a little bit more agency.
But if you give it to people, you get less pushback.
Yeah, it's like what you're quintessentially just trying to play the people.
That's what I always do in every situation.
Yeah.
I play the fucking people. This
It's
is what
just
you're
like-
supposed to do in life. People. I think that we act like people aren't a factor and an element that has like ramifications on whatever system we're talking about. We're like, yeah, we're just gonna do this. No. You gotta include how people move, behave, and operate into this, and then account for, all right, well, this is how the most common of us is gonna act. And it seems like right now we make laws and like decisions on what we think the most enlightened of us are going to do, and that is ass backwards because there's not.
It's not enough of us going around.
Not at all. Like,
Oh well, Tony always looks at me and says like, Charles, people don't think like you do.
no.
They don't. If
They don't, but that right there saved me a lot of fucking havoc. Like, just started to. That point of view is kind of. I don't know if narcissistic is the word, but that's the closest word I'm gonna come from. Because when I was coming from that perspective, I wanted everybody to move how I wanted them to move. That doesn't really serve you because you're gonna be let down. Our expectations for other people are way too fucking high. Yeah. Your expectations for yourself should be high, but for other people, unless they prove
Bottom
like
of the fucking floor.
unless they prove to me like both of y'all have proved to me consistently over time that y'all gonna show up and things are gonna get done. But that's a very interpersonal level.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most people, I'm not having them expertise. Treat people how you want to be treated. No, that's not going to
Treat people how they show you they are.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit no
Meet you where
more.
they're at, and that's going to get you a lot farther because, all right, if this is the way you view the world, me trying to bully you down to my perspective, it's just going to take me a lot longer and frustrate me. I can meet you right where you at, and all right, how
I
can
can get
move?
you to where ultimately I'm just trying to get you from point A to point B.
Yes.
But I'll escort you your way, even though it's the exact same place you would have gotten it. It would have been easier if you just went my way.
Yeah, and how arrogant to think that you can convince somebody else that your way is the right way.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Well, it's ultimately the issue with most intellectually enlightened people because it's something that I had a conversation about. I forget who I was talking to, but speaking to other highly educated people is often just as bad as speaking with really, really stupid people because they cannot fathom where you're coming from half the time.
That shit is so. That's probably my greatest ability. My ability to relate to the other person and come from their perspective and just be like, all right,
Yeah.
so this is where we're sitting at.
Because you can learn from both parties if you allow yourself to just get out of your own way and be like, is it really any such thing as stupid, and where does intelligence really get you? You know what I'm saying? That's where I come from.
Yeah, but shit, even on like, I would say on all levels, like, if you want to say stupid or philosophical, you just got to be able to.
I was just looking at like super highbrow.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Like,
but then,
I got my doctorate in philosophy, dude, and I didn't make it out of high school.
Oh yeah, no,
and
they don't have. Well, one doesn't seem to have the bandwidth for the capacity to have a outside perspective of what they're dealing with, and the other one doesn't seem interested to me.
Yeah.
And y'all can figure out who I'm talking about in both of those. But one can't do it, and the other one's not interested in doing it. But
But ultimately, your viewpoints are just as narrow as one another's.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the end effect is still there. You can and if you would just broaden up your horizon a little bit, you could still get what you wanted, but it's not the way you want it. It's like you're a lot about the ends justify the means in a lot of things. For most people, that's not the way they want to operate. They want to get there, and they want to get there the way they want to.
they want to get to the way
point.
that feels good.
Yeah, because that's the right way to do it,
That's
not the wrong way.
But it's the right way to you in your perspective, and could change based off of 900 other perspectives that you could have. So for me, where do we need to end up at? Okay, So this is where we're at, and this is where we need to go. What's the best way to get there? All right, so you don't want to do that. That's cool. Which way are you comfortable with getting? All right, I'm gonna move you all the way around this circle to get you to the same spot that I was gonna put you in 2 weeks ago. That's fine for me because at the end we're gonna end up here. But like with you, I feel like
I'm not okay going to Florida to get to Indiana.
You're not, but I think that at least like through our conversation, you've been more open to accepting that. All right, not everybody is gonna have this like highbrow. Where I've had conversations with other people where they're like, no, and they just refuse to take in any new information about people in a life that they don't necessarily understand.
Yeah, I mean, what it pretty much like what you typically end up explaining to me is more so like gang culture and street culture and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't understand the reason why they move this way. And you can sit there and you can look at me and say, this is the reason why this is all happening. Now, is this good? Probably not. But this is the world that they subsist in. And my overall grasp of that world is like, you know what? There are times where that balloons out and that affects other people, and then those are problems that we have to deal with. But ad nauseum, if this is the world that they want to run in with themselves, fuck it. There's only so much I can really do about it. And like, I can't stop these people. I can't tell them to do something different, I can tell them to do something different, but ultimately they're a victim of their own circumstances. So if I can't change those circumstances, like, what am I really gonna do? And that's the place that we typically have that conversation with. That means I broaden my horizon inside that particular situation to understand it's just like there's more extraneous issues.
A lot of people refuse to do that. A lot of, especially highbrow people.
Yes.
You'll get them where you're like, this is the like, oh, and they look down on poor, less fortunate, or less well-to-do, whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, you have to understand that they don't even have the capacity to understand this because they were never taught it at any point, was this even introducing it.
Yeah.
Shit like that, where it's like, oh no,
like financial literacy.
Yes, that is the biggest thing that highbrow people look down at lower, I guess, tier or whichever one, less fortunate people.
Yes.
And for me, it's like, even me myself, where I generally can attain anything I want inside of a material spectrum, but I also can recognize that
just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Because you can doesn't mean you should. And also, not everybody else is afforded that luxury where they can just go out and get the things that they need. And so you got to understand where people are coming from. And most people are not willing to do that. Like, no, if I did it, you can do it.
No.
No, but you had your starting point and their starting point was completely different. Like, even me. I had to learn financial literacy. I had to learn about credit. And it wasn't for my parents. Like, I had to bump my head and figure that out. But there's people who have that laid out to them plain as day from day one, basically.
Yeah, that was like something.
Charles.
Yeah, my grandmother took all of us aside for the most part and looked at us and said, whenever we asked a financial literacy question, like, how much should our rent actually be of how we actually make? And it's just like, oh, you generally want it to be about 33 to 40% of your monthly income. It's just like, damn, like most people are wildly overpaying for rent, or they're living places that they really shouldn't be living. It's just like, well, is that part of the reason why they're living paycheck to paycheck? Yeah, a good portion of the reason, because you're paying more than what you could really afford to be paying, so you can't afford to set any money aside.
Yeah. See, but so you grew up with those lessons. And I grew up with a grandfather that was actively getting credit cards in anybody's name he could because he knew niggas' Social Security.
Yo.
I'm not telling you about it.
Oh my God. Didn't they talk about credit with like it was some fucking report? Like,
situation.
Like, they were just like, oh.
And mine's is like, how is my credit fucked up already?
Mine's was, oh, it's all right. It'll just go on your credit. It was this random shit that just put it on the table. Like, we could just deal with it later. That's how it was in my family. Like, just go my credit report. Like,
just go with the report. Like, we just know about it.
Yeah.
My grandfather was actively getting credit cards out of other people's names and not telling you about it. Not giving you a credit card, but using that bitch and then not paying it. Then he passed away, and there was hella credit cards that just were not paid.
Yeah.
It's wildly problematic. Yes. but that is the sphere.
That's about a bitch. I'll be terribly upset.
Yeah.
It's just like.
But what do you do? Because
what the fuck? It looked like it's yours. You gonna tell him.
File for fraud, but that still doesn't really fix anything necessarily quickly. It takes forever.
So yeah, you can get those off, but that just to show you, like, this is the sphere of information I'm coming from. When niggas aren't thinking about credit, they just like, oh, you just get a credit card and just keep swiping.
Just keep swiping.
And just get a new one. No, that is not.
I'm glad they changed the processes of that, because it's like they check your income level and stuff like that, and they look at you and be like, "This is a child.
This 13-year-old boy's making $60,000 a year."
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like stuff like that, though. It's just like,
I want to meet you. I'd love to meet that guy.
In a better perspective, or a better sphere of like knowledge, I could have started at a different point. But everybody has a different sphere of knowledge they're starting, and some people start off worse than me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you gotta understand that, hey, they're gonna come from wherever they come from, and you gotta accept that. It can't be where you want them to come from.
And I don't put nobody over my head, because I can learn and vibe with anybody. Because I was at one point, I was dumb. I made stupid decisions, you know what I'm saying? So who am I to say, like, just because, even if I had a doctorate or whatever, I didn't always have this doctorate. You know what I mean? I didn't always have these things that some people will go out and attain to earn. You didn't always have this. You were dumb at one point. You didn't know about these relationship problems, because I damn sure didn't know about half those things. So who am I to say, oh, you're down there, down all the way fucking up here, and it's your issue? I'm like, if you choose, I definitely believe in choice. If you want to attain to a certain level, I'm sorry, you're going to have to put that work in. But if you want to stay where you are, I also understand that staying right there is okay. And I don't want to pass no judgment in thinking that I'm above anybody. We can sit here and talk. You probably got valuable wisdom for me to learn from. If you want to learn from me, that's cool. But I'm also not trying to teach you and talk to you like you down fucking here. For what? Like, I don't see no benefit in that. I can learn from anybody, and I can get along with anybody, from street niggas to anybody, anywhere. I can get along with you, because I'm not trying to be up fucking here above you. I don't care about that.
That's an issue I've had because of the way that I am.
Yeah.
I assume that for a long time, I still catch myself doing it. I assume that most people are at least coming from around the base that I am.
Yeah.
Because the infrastructure around my family, even with people around me kind of fucking up, they could only fuck up so badly because the safety net was there to be able to catch them. But for a lot of people,
Ain't no net, nigga.
They out here running around like the flying Graysons. They ain't got no net, and then they get shot in the air and just fall. Yeah. It's just like, ah.
Yeah, but also, if you over here fucking up and doing all sorts of wild shit, I'm not hanging around you all the time. When I see you, everything is cool. But I also know that energy ain't not to be in my energy. No, you can stay over there with all that, and naturally it would deflect if you are coming from if you're coming from a pure intention. Naturally people who ain't on your vibe won't come near you. It'll deflect. Like, it'll be not too, what's those things of the two, no, not magnets.
Repulse.
That's not, they'll just repel each other naturally. So I don't have to worry about somebody coming in and breaking the shit down and Eventually, if you ain't coming with pure intentions, and if you ain't for real, like, the truth of whatever you're doing ain't a pure intent, and you not sticking with that, you will find your exit. They'll go and they'll find something to do to fuck up. So technically you can never be harmed in a way, because they'll do something, or you just know something ain't right.
I mean, as long as you don't allow them to actually infiltrate what you're doing, it's fine.
Like, you gotta...
Someone being around you is not going to have such a wildly negative repercussion to the point where it's going to be a problem.
Like, one of the drivers I used to work with, this nigga was wild as fuck, but was always trying to get me to be his girlfriend. Absolutely not. we are okay. I value you as a friend and as one of my coworkers. But what we're not gonna do is start this relationship.
We're not even terribly close friends.
I see how you move, and you tell me a lot of things that I just will not
Hey,
with. That's the one.
What are you doing? What? I was out here messing with these girls. One of them told me she had the Hep C.
How many kids did he have? 2 fucking baby. And then like 2 baby mamas. It was probably fucking with somebody else. Those are things that
And
I
probably
have
got
no
a few that you
problem
don't know
with,
about.
but I don't want in my sphere. That's something that like I said, to this day, if I called them up, we can have a good old conversation. But how you move and all those things like that is not okay. I am not okay with any of this. And I respect you. I'm not going to talk down on you or anything. But also know we cannot move forward past where I've already put you at. Nothing's set in stone. But what this nigga doing over there is a no-no. It's a no-no for Ash.
I'm gonna take someone out for tacos again. But I'm just trying to remember if I was supposed to do something this weekend. And the weekend's over now, but
Yeah, you missed that, bro.
I don't know. I feel like I would have been pressed a lot more. I don't know. I can be a very odd person with my actual focuses. Because there is a strong point in time I can focus on somebody really hard and then I can just wander off and start doing something else. And then I wander back around eventually. It's just like, well, what the hell happened to you? I was just meandering. Doing other stuff, reading a book, doing things. It's the way it works. But yeah, superpowers and COVID-19 vaccines.
What do you think is afraid of?
What?
Oh, what?
What are you guys afraid of?
Caterpillars.
That is.
I'm afraid of just leaving my baby here without anything. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I'm afraid of not living up to my potential. Super afraid. Like, I can't really leave my daughter down here. Nothing else really don't matter to me. But if I don't come down here and do my fucking life's purpose and really give it a shot, that's what I'm afraid of. Everything else is a cinch to me. Vulnerability is the thing I'm afraid of. Oh my God, what?
For a really long period of time, it was rejection.
Man.
And then I figured out rejection isn't really too much of anything.
Ooh, fear of abandonment. Oh my fucking God. Don't leave me. I don't want to be abandoned.
I don't have a lot of experience with people outside of like women that I've dated. I don't have really too much experience with people I allowed to enter my sphere, actually damaging me inside of any sort of way or like leaving. Because once I know someone and they know me, typically everything is fine. I don't. So like my true, something that I definitely fear. Something that stagnation.
Fear stagnation. I just don't want to be. Don't abandon me. Don't leave me. Why are you leaving? That's definitely like, oh my God.
I don't know. Just being idle completely scares me because there's this point in time. I don't ever want to look around and be like, fuck. I'm stuck and there's no moves I can possibly make to get out of this given situation.
That right there is my fear. That you look up and look around at your life and shit is just like, it's me.
Okay.
Shit is just like broken and not
fixable.
I don't fear that.
And I guess I fear that in a perspective, I guess, to like bring it to you talking about not wanting to leave your daughter, because I feel like that would put me in a position where I wasn't able to put my children or my family or my loved ones in any type of position before I left.
Yeah, to thrive without me, like I said, it's gonna be a lot of emotional bullshit that she's gonna have to get through, which is fine, but can at least like financials be taken care of.
Yeah, see, I don't think that I could do that if I was stagnant. I feel like stagnation would halt all that. Like, for me, I look at stagnation as like and not to be insulting to anybody that like works at like Amazon and does like the regular
9 to 5 thing.
9 to 5 picking, and not even like the regular 9 to 5 thing, because if you're a manager or an operations manager, you're making decent money. You can make 60,000-70,000, so you could have a decent life where you can still provide for like your kids and things and make sure that they have a decent start.
Yeah.
But if you're making $15 an hour and you're 40, 42, 45 years old, and this is your main job, full source of income, I see that as stagnation. Like, I don't realistically see anybody viewing that as like their in life goal.
Everything's cool, everything's hunky-dory.
So if you didn't see that as your in life goal, then the way that you imagine providing for your family looked different. So in that way, in that regard, you failed to succeed in providing for your family the way that you wanted to, were supposed to, and should have been working to, because you were stagnant and this was cool, this provided enough. And I guess I don't ever want to get satisfied with just enough, because shit, right now I have enough. Like, I could stop doing this show, stop working with y'all, and stop working for the rest of my life and be relatively alright. It's not gonna be enough though. Like, that wouldn't be enough to
move the next generation forward in any kind of way.
Not at all. Not even remotely. And so shit like that's why stagnation for me, because it encompasses so much more than just like me not being productive. It's like you're gonna let down everybody that you intend to like empower and leave something for, because you just stood still and didn't work.
Yeah, or like just being so self-involved. I think I noticed that a lot with my family, is that they're so self-involved with their own. I see it's a lack of like partnership into where they see in a bigger picture. Everything is what's now. I mean, not what's now. Yeah, I gotta say what's plaguing me now. How can I get over these negative feelings right now, which is with shopping, drinking, whatever their vices are. Because for a minute I had to recognize that my mother was bonding with me over spending money. She was like, well, why don't you want to go shopping with me? Or why don't you, like, why'd you leave? Like, especially after I got the car, because now I'm just going when I want to go. And I realized, like, that was something that she taught me, was shopping was a way for her to vent and to get her mind off of things. And I realized that was something that I learned as well. It wasn't like the greatest thing, obviously, because now, like, when you get the money, because now the cycle was you don't have anything, bills is paid or whatever, but you don't really got fun money. Now when you get this fun money and you pay everything, as soon as that fun money come in, you are spending it just as quickly as it came in through shopping. Because that's literally the only way I knew. I didn't even notice until I had to sit down and be like, why is she so attached with going with me to fucking Giant Eagle? Like, what is this? Then I realized, like, oh, this is, and then I was listening to her talk. I'm like, this is this is how she learned what me time was. And that's not the most financially greatest thing. Like, they got bills paid, whatever they had to do. That's definitely something I learned. But, like, thinking about the bigger picture, and to saying, like, oh, I'm going to buckle down and save this little bit of money and invest it elsewhere, or just different shit. I've learned that's a shitty habit that was passed down. And then I had to reconcile within myself to notice, like, you don't really need this. You just want it to solve a problem that you don't want to deal with inside yourself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, no, it was just always stagnation for me. I don't ever want to look around. I just don't ever want to look around and be like, I've been putting checkmate, or like I'm like 3 moves away from checkmate. Like, I'm always just, I can't leave this $15 an hour job because I need this money in order to provide, but I can't provide properly because I only make $15 an hour.
Yeah.
And they know they have me over a barrel, basically. So it means I don't have a play.
Nope.
And like even at 40, you can still have a play at a $15 an hour job because like there's still outs. You can go to night school. You can do stuff. You can.
Yeah, you can try and find it now. Like I'm not. Ever
But
saying,
the outs are just a lot less plentiful. There's a lot less
It just
left.
starts shrinking. Like I feel like you could always try and figure out a way out, but a lot of times people get in those precarious situations and just choose to maintain instead of looking for
Opportunities.
another play. Yeah.
So
I don't know if that has to do with like self-confidence, but I could say even like to Ash's the topic that Ash was bringing up today for being afraid of success. Like I could say I was afraid of success for a while, and like just subsisted in stagnation and mediocrity. Yeah, and mediocrity. And I guess I was afraid of success because for me, what I realized very rapidly is success looks like leaving people behind.
Yeah.
And that I wasn't comfortable doing, leaving the people that I cared about behind. Because it's not necessarily leaving the people that are just stuck in their ways that you no longer want to like associate with behind. It's you having to leave behind the people that you still care about, still love, and still want to associate with, but then recognize that, hey, they aren't on the same spectrum of growth that I need them to be to perpetuate us having a meaningful relationship that grows and that we're both beneficial to each other.
Yeah, understanding that you guys aren't, you're no longer moving in the same direction, and they're either standing still, and you can only hold on to that hand for so long.
If you turn the headphones around, it'd probably be easier, so of course not crossed.
My ears. I don't know if the left and the right one is on here. If there even is one.
There's not.
Oh, that's weird. What kind of Beats don't have a left and a right? That doesn't make any sense.
The bigger studio ones do. These ones don't. Those are just solos. So my original ones that I've had, like, they're kind of like these. Cover your ears. They fold up. They have a left and a right. They also have like a detachable cord and everything. So
Ash over there is the audiophile. Ash over there is just looking around
stolen
like
from me. My studio beats, like they were like $350, $400 headphones. Yeah, they got stolen. So, but no, the good beats do have left and right, and
there's a difference. I mean, this
oh
is.
yeah,
I'm getting a mono signal, basically.
Yeah.
That is truly unfortunate. It's like, well, I guess it kind of has to be because there has like a headphone thing, because a lot of conversational headsets, you only can get it. Like the fact that you can hear this inside of both is weird because normally you can only hear it through one no matter what you do if you're using regular headphones with left and right. But that's neither here nor there. We're an hour in.
Yeah, but so I was afraid, like I said, afraid of succeeding and leaving behind like Jones. Like that was like I didn't want to leave him behind, or just like people that I felt like your perspective is good, but maybe there's other qualities that are needed that at that point when I was younger I couldn't articulate or see as a reason. Well, all right, this is the reason why I can't necessarily force you to come with me either. And so that kept me in stagnation for a while.
Yeah, I mean, the people who have been there with you through all the bad, and it's just like, it's really weird because it's like, why won't you come with me during the good times? You were here during all the bad times.
Why wouldn't I want to give you
like
this part? Like, I have something pretty solid. Like, come with me.
Like,
and we can get through this together and come out on top together.
We already made it through the hard parts.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing. But
yeah, no, with my family, I was telling y'all last time, like, oh, I really had this thing where I thought, like, we're all supposed to suffer. Their problems are my problems.
No.
Like this suffering, we should all suffer together. Like, oh, wait a whole ass minute. And that was something that was deep ingrained into me that just came to light. Like, you don't want to, especially like to get over your conditioning with your parents is a super hard thing and tough thing to do, because it's a lot of what's that, know what you don't know. How do you know what you don't know type deal?
Yeah.
So
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, so constantly you always trying to please them in some weirdo subconscious way, and you don't even realize you doing it. Like, for a while, like, I never had nobody to cultivate the creative part of me. It was always like, well, Ash, my mother worked for AT&T for almost 30 years. Well, why don't you just go to AT&T and everything will be great. You'll start off with $50K a year and it's up. But I'm like, I could not, like, when I went to community college for the little short time I did, they didn't understand that move. And I went for music production. I forgot what the name of it was. When I went, they didn't understand why I was doing that. And I was like, well, I feel there's something inside of me that I can't really, y'all are not understanding. And there was nobody to say, hey, yeah, why don't you do it? Why don't you just keep going with this? I'm like, God. There was nobody to say that. So then it was like you could just give up on things very easily because there's nobody to support you to say, hey, this is what you can, or this is what you can do, and we support you on this journey. But yeah, just looking at that, like, mine was definitely a fear of success. I was really like the responsibility of succeeding. I didn't think I could handle it. And plus, how do you know what you've never done? You know what I mean? You don't know what success looked like. I was very comfortable in failure and just being mediocre as fuck all the time because I didn't want to push myself. But success was definitely something I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, shit, if you don't know what success looks like, mediocrity can feel great.
Yeah, you know what the fuck you doing. You know this pattern. You know what's going to happen 2 weeks from now when you get your check. You know this. I don't know what success looks like in that grand scheme of things. I don't know what that is. And I had to check myself about that. This is why that could go with relationships too. How do you know what a good man is if you've never really had it? You know what shitty niggas or shitty bitches look like. Like, you know that. You used to the heartache. You used to sending the text messages, oh, this nigga tripping again. You're so used to that when something good come along, you be like,
I don't know. That's a whole nother area.
No, go ahead. The question is fear of failure or fear of success. Which one are you?
Oh, fear of failure or fear of success. Mm-hmm. Which one has I dealt with? Based on my inherent nature, I always have to check every single possible facet of failure for failure. So I guess that technically means I'm always more scared of failure, because basically it's pretty much like, yo, all I have to do is make sure these specific things don't happen and I can succeed. That's the reason why I need to understand like what my minimum operations costs are. I need to understand at what point, once I break this level, is just like, all right, we're growing, and once we get past this, we're all good. Like, understanding all that other stuff. So that means I am always scared of dipping below that. So I guess I'm more so scared of failure than I am of success. Mm-hmm. But that can also lead to a sense of like choice paralysis, because you end up like, damn, I couldn't, it's the inverse of the Kobe mentality, where you miss every shot that you don't take because you never actually took the shot to begin with. Well, I could end up getting caught. Like, might always be end up looking for the best shot, because it's like, well, this is an okay shot where I can probably get a better one. Mm-hmm. And that's not always possible. You could pass up a perfectly fine shot trying to get a better shot and just never get a better shot. And understanding that there might not be a better shot after this one. So sometimes you just gotta take it.
Yes. That is what you gotta do.
But also,
take the shot.
But there's also a point in time, but you can't completely and totally fight against your own nature of knowing, like, it doesn't mean you just start taking bad shots.
Oh no, I don't think that.
But if you get a good one, take it, because you don't know if you're gonna get it again.
I mean, I guess, yeah, I agree with that. But for me, I think we have the opposite problem, where I have no issue with failure. Like, failure doesn't bother me. It doesn't make me feel any type of trepidation. Like, shit could fail tomorrow, and then all right. I'm gonna do some different shit.
It's like, I mean, once I failed, I learn from the failure and I keep it moving.
Oh,
but,
yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
But trying to make sure I don't fail is a conscientious thing for me.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think that once you fail that you're, like, paralyzed from failing. I think that you're paralyzed from thinking about the failure.
Yeah.
Where me, I am more paralyzed from, like I said, from the thoughts of success and just, like, having to... recognizing that certain connections are fragile.
Yeah. Friendships are fragile. It's in their own nature.
Like the Jones thing.
Yeah. I don't... God damn it.
Do you really expect that you'll see a whole lot of it? Pour it against the side, like you would pour a beer.
Do I expect to see a whole lot of them? Yes. I mean, in terms of chill, but outside of that, no. Like, it's possible. I'm also pretty...
optimistic?
Yes.
Okay.
In general.
Okay, because I'm like, yeah, it's possible, but how realistic
possible.
Like,
has it been?
would it be a surprise if I saw Jones once a month? No. Every single weekend, definitely not.
Yeah.
But if I didn't see him if I went a month without seeing, 2 months without seeing him, I also wouldn't be surprised. I also don't emotionally invest in some things when I know the possibility of it. Because there was an entire year or so, or like, I just randomly messaged Jones because I wanted to work on something and then we started kicking it again. So there was basically a full damn near 5-6 years of not kicking it with Jones, and then suddenly we're kicking it again. And it's not like if I called up Jones and then went over his place now, he wouldn't kick it with me more than likely. It's just like I would have to put more effort into it. And I only have so much effort to give between this and life and all the other stuff.
Exactly. And so, but that's what I mean. For me, at a point, I recognize that at age 20, if I continue to pursue these things, that means that all of these other people
Fall by the wayside.
I have to give up. And that was a very terrifying and sobering thought
At 20?
Yeah.
At 20, oh my God.
Yeah. And that's right when I decided to go to California by myself and just leave again. But it also, like I said, I asked Marcus to come, but that sobered me up and let me know, like, success sometimes is a road by itself and by yourself.
I mean, yeah, sometimes, and your roads can they can remerge later on down the line. You just gotta walk by yourself sometimes, and sometimes it can take a while before someone intercedes with you again, or someone can.
Yeah, but while y'all roads may reemerge, since we're just kind of in a fledgling status of moving down that path, it's a lot easier for our roads to reemerge. But let's say we get into full swing.
And your path just happened to reemerge.
How likely is it for our path to reemerge?
I mean, you guys are, as of that point, you guys are in completely and totally different states in your life, unless there's some kind of, like, some amount of success or something that happens that causes someone to propel themselves to, I guess, more so need guidance, not necessarily like be put into the fold, but it's like, I have this thing and it's wildly successful and I need somebody to help me manage it or something like that. Like, but based on the people that we're talking about, it's like not impossible, but less likely, I guess, is the most prudent way of putting it.
Yeah, and so that reality for me, I've never feared being or failure. Like, I'm gonna fail, but I'm 1,000,000% confident that I'm gonna succeed. But with that confidence that I'm gonna succeed, also means I'm 1,000,000% sure that I'm gonna have to leave y'all. This isn't a maybe; it's a guarantee for me And so it being a guarantee when I was younger was not a positive thing. I was like, I don't know
That's some
about all
bleak
that.
shit to learn at 20.
I mean, also
That's
you have to
some
keep in
bleak
mind, Tony didn't run around with a lot of people inside of his 20s. It was pretty much just Jones and maybe a few other people that he got close with over
I
time.
keep a very small circle at all times, but I think that's because of how often I moved as a child. Me moving so much as a child taught me very early on a few things. One, fitting in is a lot better than standing out. I'm
That's
amazing,
true.
and I can stand out at any time I want to. But when you fit in, you're allowed to blend, move, and operate a lot better. Two, I learned how to get along with just different people from their perspective, just because I've dealt with a lot of people. Three, it showed me that you leave people and friendships are very, very fragile. I was in like 3 different elementary schools before the 3rd grade. I had like 4 or 5 different best friends. Because shit, you gotta make a new one.
Can't be out here without a best friend.
Yeah, it just happens naturally. You make a friend, and then now y'all the kick it the most, and now, all right, this is the best friend. But
I've
then
only
when I
ever
leave-
had 2 best friends. Ever.
I had Garrett, Caesar. There was the white boy that went to the high school in my 2nd grade, and then I went to Andre and Junior. But yeah, no, Tony has gone to even with high school. I've gone to 3 different high schools. I went to the one in California and the 2 out here. I've always had to break connections with people, and so that put a paralyzer on me, where it's like, fuck, if I keep striving for this, all these connections that I've grown to value, I'm gonna have to just give up.
I've never actually really had to give up anything of any particular value outside of one of my best friends, and that's because he moved and we just lost touch because it was before the age of me having a cell phone and all that other stuff.
I guess for me, it wasn't so much always having to lose. It's just you get tired of it after a while. Like, I'm fine with it now, but just from, like I said, the 3rd grade, I was like, I don't know how old you are then, 10 years old.
When you were in the 3rd grade.
Yeah, about
You start
9 or
3rd
10.
grade,
Yeah.
6, 9.
Yeah, so just going through just constant breaking connection. Break a connection. Break a connection. Build a new one. Care about this person, break the connection. Build a new one, care about this person, break the connection. That just gets exhausting if that is kind of like,
Your state of being.
yeah.
See, that kind of tune into like the fear of success thing because you just don't think nothing good is gonna last. That was a big thing with me. Even if I do achieve this success, it's probably gonna be taken away from me sometime. And that's the abandonment thing too. We can have all the lovey-dovey kisses, best friendy things, whatever. But there was something in me that was like, this is not gonna last. They're gonna find something wrong with me and they're gonna fucking leave. Like, that's what's gonna happen. Or some whatever circumstances.
See, that makes
And you
sense,
just gonna
like,
bounce. But
see,
the
for
same
my-
thing with a good thing, like a successful business. Oh, something's gonna happen. I'm gonna face a lawsuit. It's just all those things culminated for me from my fear of success. I don't know what success looks like. All good things that come to me must go because it's just always been happening. There's nothing been consequential stay in my life that says, oh, this good thing is staying here. And I guess coming to terms with like, I don't know, maybe I should get rid of that term. Nothing good lasts forever, but nothing bad lasts forever either.
Nothing lasts forever. Like, expecting it to is impossible. At that point, that means you attain this state at which it just sustains and is there for good. And businesses don't, or nothing really works like that. You don't
Yeah.
buy a car and it stays pristine for forever. You don't buy a house and it stays pristine.
And that was the hurdle I had to get over, really, was just knowing, like, good things don't last, but neither do the bad times either. All of it is pretty cyclical when it comes to this place. And even if you go to a bad time, a good time is bound to happen. And you can maintain good times. It doesn't have to be this high level of fucking up here-ness all the time. And if it's even is down here, you can go, it'll waver back up and down. Not really stuck in anything unless you allow yourself to be stuck in one mode. They go back and forth. You'll be like, that was the biggest thing, like you'll be okay. Even if I had to go through another like major heartbreak or whatever, just something failing again, everything resolves itself. And I guess the stagnation part was like, I had to know the confidence in me to know that I can get out of those things. I can make great things, but I also can get through the bad times. And those tough moments, you're gonna get through them. Just like a good moment, you'll get through. But now it's just like, it's time like for me to just be like, all right, you might be afraid of things that you don't know. And succeeding might be a very big thing that you have to overcome. But at least try. Please, just give it a shot. Like, I know now, like, that's what Tony kind of instilled in me. Just to have the confidence to just go after what you want. No matter how that looks like, just go after it. What's the worst that could happen? Just try. Just try. Right. That's my big thing now. Just put forth your effort. Learn. You don't need all the information. Learn as you go. All the information to come up to you, and just go. Just try something. No matter if small steps or big steps. Just go. If you can do it for other people, you can damn sure afford yourself that little tiny bit of self-love to say, hey, I love you through all of this. Not just through the good times when we got niggas falling around in bottles, whatever. Not just through those, but through those bad times when you feel like shit and you can't get up anymore and you wondering what is. I love myself through both of those moments. There's no wavering. Like, I'm not beating myself up no more for what I could have done, and I'm damn sure not stopping myself for what I could be.
Yeah, I would just say reevaluate what you believe success is. If you really want to actually run your own business, and just because it's not always doing the greatest inside the entire world, you're still being somewhat successful because you're doing this thing. Yeah. And like, it's just like, well, it wasn't making it. It's not. I used to make like, I don't know, 150,000, and our business is down this year, and I'm making 100,000 this year. Or
even half, 75. Like, my shit went down half this year. I was like, oh, but I don't feel that effect from it that fucking much, I guess. But I also definitely noticed the difference. Like, oh, I made this much last year. Now this year I didn't make as much.
Just like, man, I'm not making. Well, yeah, business kind of, you have ups and you have downs.
Even out of business, for my personal situation, I just had quit a job. So that was that.
But it's like, when you were running a business and you were taking in this much last year, or you like, oh man, I made a shit ton last month, and now this month I'm coming in lower than last month, and it's just like, damn, that's a failure. Yes and no. Like, depending upon what your overall goal is. If your goal is to make more money each month, then technically you failed. But if you look at it, if you look at your success as, well, what's your success? Well, I want to be able to feed my family, do all the things that I normally be able to do, and maybe put some money away. So it means I could save. So it means I don't have to do this for the rest of my life. Are you still able to do that? Yeah, I didn't put as much money away as I wanted to, but I still was able to put some money away. All my bills are paid. Everybody's fed. Everybody's healthy. Then it's just like, you got what you wanted. So what's the problem?
Yeah, mine's definitely changed. My idea of success has definitely changed. It's definitely geared towards more of a, not more of a feeling, but more of a
state of being.
Everything leads up to this particular point, like creating, just being here with y'all is something that is just like, I want to do this consistently. And I don't really want to have to worry about the material, obviously. I want a nice fallback little nest egg, but my idea of success wasn't this caricature that we being fed anymore. And I'm gauging that different now. So now it don't seem so unattainable. Like, I gotta have the car and I gotta have this. And it's like, no, what I really want is to be surrounded by people that I love and have my health in good order and not be really stifled. Like I said, money is a tool, and I would love to have a plenty amount of those fucking tools sitting around. But my idea of success is way different now. It's more like being surrounded by the people I love and just being like creating those environments is something that's super important to me now. like I said, as long as my health is cool, I can succeed in other things. That's not gonna. I don't have that anymore. Where it's like, oh my God, I should have done this and these things, and what happens if I don't get this? I don't give a fuck about it anymore. What I care about is putting my best forward effort, making sure that people around me that I know are solid, are taken care of, that they feel pretty good, and yeah, just surround myself with like as much love as possible. Other than that, everybody can get out. If you're not contributing to the love fund, get out of here.
But yeah, no, I think that's a good way to cap that off.
Yeah.
I think this was a pretty good conversation.
Yeah.
And conscious reconstruction. On that ass. I just got to get one other thing right for this setup that I forgot about. But I'll have it next episode. We're gonna be back with the intro music, outro music. Don't you forget.
Yeah, that's a rather minute change.
Yeah, I just have to
finish everything up. Yeah, we got a new desk.
Yeah, we got a new desk and a new TV monitor.
Yeah. So
everything is like got reset up. I did the most important things.
We're talking to you.
Yeah. All the mics are up. All the mixer is set up. The main computer record on is set up. Even the other computer is set up. It's just not an HDMI cord isn't hooked into the new TV.
But that's a lapsing thing. It won't be that difficult to change.
Yeah.
So, trust me.
Make sure you like us, subscribe to us, follow us, use that mouse wheel. Click, subscribe, click share. You're gonna start seeing some ads coming soon. We love y'all. Make sure you talk to us on all social medias. Talk to Charles on Just Charles on Twitter. 007. It's Just Charles 007. 009. He should have been the 007. But he 009, Just Charles, because he ain't want to steal.
I'm just Agent 9 with 00 status. That's how James Bond works. That means I can kill people.
Yeah. Just Charles 009. We got Zero Cool. Is that what you're using on your socials? What you using?
Yeah, that's the one.
Zero Cool.
The K for the cool. It's Sleepy Melbourne out here.
Cool spelled K-U-L.
And we love
it. No, it's not.
Oh, that is
C-O-C-K-O-L.
Right,
but Cool Whip.